This is Gadget Stop 321. In today's video, I'm taking a look at the Lihit Labs Aqua Drops Twist Ring Notebook and Notepad. Now, this is the pocket size version, and there are actually two versions of the pocket size. There's this one that I have here that comes with 40 sheets of graph paper. There's also a version that comes with lined paper that has little push buttons on the side that open the rings, and the rings must be a little bit larger on that version because instead of 40 sheets it comes with 70 sheets of lined paper. The cover looks a little bit different. The dimensions are a little bit different on the lined version. The lined version is just a little bit shorter and a little bit wider than this graph version. And this comes with a polyplastic front and back cover, and it's called Aqua Drops. You may be able to see the pattern. It's got a kind of a matte cover, a matte finish to the cover with some glossy dots. There's a little bit of branding here on the front. Now, these notebooks come in a rainbow of colors in addition to this black. And I'm not sure, but it seems like the color covers are a little more translucent, whereas the black is opaque. Now, the notebooks also come in two versions. There's the A5 size, and there's also a B5 size, which is, I believe B5 is a composition notebook size. Now, this is the A5, and this is it compared to my hands. Now, these are just stickers on the front and the back. The pocket notebook came with stickers all over it, and you can see they come off really cleanly. So, the sticker here on the front of this one shows how to open the rings. And I guess I should go ahead and mention that this notebook also came with 40 sheets of graph paper, and I got this notebook at JetPens, but JetPens only has in the bigger notebook sizes, only has the rainbow of colors. They don't have the black cover. I ran across this one on Amazon, and I ordered it, and it came from Japan. So if you get a notebook from JetPens, you only have the color covers as an option, and they come with lined paper. It's still the same style of cover. It's got the Aqua Drops. It's matte cover with the dots. It's polyplastic on front and back. So it's the same style as this pocket notebook, but if you get it from JetPens, it comes with 30 sheets of lined paper. The lined paper has a 6mm spacing, whereas the graph paper is a 5mm graph. But this one that I got with the graph paper came with 40 sheets, just like the pocket notebook. Now, on this sticker, it shows how the rings operate. It shows you pulling up on one side and down on the other side of the cover. Now, I have found that if I do that, it doesn't always work. Well, it worked perfectly that time, of course. But, so that's one way of opening it. And then to close it, you just push the two sides back together, and you'll hear them snap. But the way I usually open it is both at the top. I'll push down on this side and pull up on this side. And let's see how, and that opens it just as well. And then just push them back together. The rings don't feel, well, I guess they don't feel like a real fragile plastic, but they are plastic, so I don't think I would feel comfortable throwing this notebook into a school backpack with lots of heavy books or stuff for gym, tennis shoes, or anything like that. Now, if you just have a a small bag, maybe a purse or something that doesn't have lots of other heavy stuff in it, I might be okay throwing it in there. But one thing I want to mention on this one, again, this one came all the way from Japan in an envelope. It was packaged pretty good. It had cardboard wrapped around it, and it was wrapped in plastic. But this very last ring doesn't want to close very well. And all the other rings are perfect. They fit tight, but I think it's because this one down here at the hinge, it looks like it's bent a little bit, so it doesn't want to fit together as tightly. But that hasn't affected how I'm able to use the notebook. But my little pocket notebook, all the rings fit together perfectly. So I love these kind of notebooks. I have another notebook from Filofax and the ARC notebooks that you can take the pages out and rearrange them. I just like being able to do that. I like to use this notebook. I've got it full of addresses. I use it as an address book. I've been using this one for my YouTube notes. In fact, my notes for this video are on a sheet of this paper. I really like this style of notebook. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and do a writing sample. Now, I will go ahead and mention these notebooks are nice because you can fold the covers backwards, but because of that hinge, it doesn't close flat. Now, if you're writing with a fountain pen or maybe even a gel pen where you don't have to exert as much pressure, that's not a big deal. But my favorite writing device to use with these notebooks is a pencil with some soft 0.7 lead, and I find it's, you have to press down a little more when you're using a pencil, so I usually use it open on a flat surface. But I'll go ahead and do a writing sample now. I can't remember if I mentioned earlier, this is 80 GSM paper, so it's not very thick. It's really smooth. That's one of the reasons I like using it with pencil. The paper is, with pencil, the paper's really dense, and so it doesn't feel like you're writing on recycled paper, or that feeling of like you're writing on a paper towel. All right, I'm gonna put it down flat. This is a Kaweco Skyline Sport, and this is a extra fine nib. Let me see what this is. Iroshizuku Momiji. This is my pen I use for grading papers. All right, and I've been using here lately for note taking the Pilot E95S. And this, it's also extra fine. Oops. And I'm using Diamine. Oops. Oxford Blue. Not the best at writing and speaking at the same time. And I've got Pilot Pereira with the calligraphy, what do they call this? A calligraphy stub, or just the calligraphy medium, or sometimes I've heard it called a stub nib. And this is Iroshizuku, what was this one? It's one of the blues. It's the darker blue. I can't remember the name of it. But it's a Roshizuku. And style mark, a little fine liner. And a Sharpie. And a red Sharpie. And a regular Sharpie. A gold Sharpie. And this is what I've been using to write on these, in these notebooks. I've been using Retro 51 Hexamatic. It's the 0.7, and I put some softer lead in it. It's the BB lead. Let's see. All right, let's see how that looks. Okay, as could be expected, the Sharpies bled through to the next page, so I wouldn't use Sharpies. And in fact, I'm a little disappointed. My fountain pens bled through also. Let's see, the little style mark didn't. Yeah, I didn't bring my gel pens up here, but I think my gel pens would have been okay. But like I mentioned, my favorite thing to write on it with is my pencil. The pencil just glides across this smooth paper and puts down a nice dark line. That is my favorite. So if you're looking for a notebook where you can move the pages around, this is a good option. If you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel.